Hey, how's it going, guys? Carson back here with another massive comic haul. This is more like half of November, December, January, and February. So I got, like, you can even see it creeping up on the camera right here. I got a whole mountain of books to go through. So that's kind of the MO for my channel, basically. And of course, I advertised I got four graded comics back that I just unboxed enough so I could grab them and we can reveal the grades together. So that should be a lot of fun. It's from CGC. I'm not going to talk about that other grading company that is holding a lot of my books hostage right now, but we'll go over some CGC goodness here because I'm getting most of my books back. I think I'm down to only having, I think, five books plus the 9 I sent toward the second half of last year. So I'm down at least less than 20 books now that CGC has of mine. So that's good that they've seemed to be on this like nice rotation of giving me my books back. So that's great. But before I get into the CGC books, I'll talk about some things I've been reading lately. We'll start, of course, pretty much every single time. You guys know what I like the most. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I feel like finally, after 25 issues since the big issue 100 end of City at War story, I feel like the book's starting to go somewhere a little bit. So, and I understand like the last 20 issues they've used to like really let the new version of New York breathe in this book and establish a lot of new characters, and you're really just doing a lot of world building it's taken this long to get to where there's finally a little bit of action, like mainly in this one right here, with the punk frogs. So actually, shout out to Kevin Eastman for an awesome cover. I really like that Reservoir Dogs poster swipe. But this one, Raph has gone rogue, of course, because it's Raph. He's got to be Raph all the time. And then these punk frogs just show up out of nowhere and wreck poor old Casey Jones. He does not stand a chance against 6 frogs. And then they just go after the Ninja Turtles dojo and burn the thing to the ground. So they show up and immediately make an impact. So all of a sudden, this book is very interesting again. After it hasn't, honestly, it's been kind of stagnant for the last 20 or so issues. It's not been bad by any means. There hasn't been a whole lot of action, and sometimes in my Turtles, I need some of that action. So happy they're going somewhere with that. And I've just been getting a lot of covers and stuff that I like, and actually reading some of the material, just trying to get back into something else, because quite honestly, as you guys probably noticed the trend, I don't make a lot of videos about stuff I read because, number one, I just don't have a lot of time, and number two, there's not a lot I want to go out there and read right now. There's not a lot of storylines that interest me, so I got a few issue ones to see, basically, is there anything out there I can get into. So I started with Daredevil Woman Without Fear. I thought it was an interesting twist, making Elektra the new Daredevil. So this kind of starts off with both Matt Murdock and Elektra as Daredevil. So I'm kind of behind on what's going on in the Zdarsky run. I think he went to prison for a minute, Matt Murdock. So Elektra replaced him. Now I guess they're both Daredevil. I don't know if he's on the loose or something like that. But nonetheless, this book focuses on Elektra's storyline. It was all right. This will be probably a Marvel Unlimited checkout for me past this issue. I was kind of bored with a lot of what was going on, honestly, until the twist at the end, where I guess spoilers, Kraven the Hunter is the one who's hunting Elektra / Daredevil. So that should make for an interesting next few issues. So I may catch those down the line at some point. Ben Reilly Spider-Man. I was very interested in this because I saw this Dan Jurgens cover. So just like they, had it in the mid 90s with Dan Jurgens doing some of the art for, the Spider clone. And apparently, I don't know if someone told me Spider-Man is dead right now for some reason. But I was like, oh, cool, I'll check this out. So I'm not sure if this is like takes place in Ben Reilly's timeline where he was originally Spider-Man, or if he's Spider-Man again. But yeah, once again, issue didn't do too much for me, but I do like the Dan Jurgens cover. And it's the same reason I bought this next book, Silver Surfer Rebirth. So not only does this have a beautiful Dan Jurgens cover, it is also by Ron Mars is writing it, and then Ron Lim is drawing it. So 90s city right here. So this is right up my alley. I I enjoyed this book for the most part. I'm definitely going to check the rest out on Unlimited about 3 months from now once it starts to hit on there. But yeah, Silver Surfer's back in his classic form, I guess. Like, I don't know what happened with the end of Silver Surfer Black, but he's back. He was hanging out with Captain Marvel's son, and then all of a sudden he became Captain Marvel. So there's something broken with time, I guess, which is always fun in the world of Silver Surfer. So I'll read issue 2 at some point, because I always got to check in to see how Silver Surfer's doing, because he's one of my favorite Marvel characters for sure. I do have to say a special shout out to Chris Barrett. How's it going, man? He says, howdy at work, almost finished. Yeah, happy lunchtime, what have you. This is about the only time I can make to actually do a stream or a video. So if you guys are out there watching live, hope you're having a good lunch, or, you know, getting through your day of work or what have you. Of course, I had to get this book, Saga 55. I just went and put this on my pulse because, like I said, I want to have something to read monthly besides Turtles. There's not a whole lot for me to pick from right now, so I ended up getting Saga 55, throwing it on the pull list because I've read up to 54. So I guess spoilers if you haven't had a chance to read this yet, even though I waited a week or so to actually get my copy read so I could talk about it with people who don't care about spoilers or have already read it. But yeah, pretty strong issue, and I do appreciate Brian K. Vaughan Image for holding the line at $2.99, unlike certain other companies who have advertised holding lines at $2.99 and immediately going up to $3.99 plus on their books. But yeah, $2.99 for this issue of Saga. I was very happy with that. I think it's even a double size, so I'm curious to see if the rest of them will follow suit, kind of like McFarlane and Spawn has. Hopefully Saga will be a $3 book from here on out. That would be great. But you kind of just get to see what's going on with, you know, Hazel after that insane issue 54 where characters are killed off. People finally meet for the first time in 50 plus issues. So a very big cliffhanger to come back into this issue. So this pretty much just resets. It's a hard reset on what's going on in the galaxy of Saga with Hazel and Elena and our new character here. And even their ship, it's kind of cool to see their ship is kind of like turned into like their house. And yeah, it's a really nice place to get caught up. There's just enough here to, like, if you're wanting to hop in here without reading for whatever reason, they kind of explain what's going on without just blatantly explaining everything. But obviously you want to read the other 54 issues first. Yeah, a lot of fun though. I was very happy with this issue. Worth the wait, in my opinion. Can't wait for the next one. And then I don't even know why I ended up getting the first issue of this, but I actually enjoyed it well enough to buy the following issue, and I got the X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine. Or I don't know if it's 10 Lives of Wolverine and 10 Deaths of, I don't know if they're pulling that House of M type stuff like they did with House of Powers. But yeah, I actually enjoyed the Lives of Wolverine well enough to get the Deaths of Wolverine. So this one, basically, they have to send Wolverine's consciousness back in time to fight a vampiric Omega Red who has figured out how to travel back in time and try to kill Charles Xavier as a child. So it's kind of like the movie Days of Future Past, where, you know, somehow Kitty Pryde had the power to send Wolverine back in time, and that now somehow Charles and Jean combine their forces to send Wolverine's consciousness back in time to fight Omega Red, who can body jump into other people. So I thought this was quite the interesting issue. And then I ended up reading this, and this one's more of a Moira story than a Wolverine story. You only see like what is supposed to be Wolverine on a few pages, and like he's the last splash page before the book ends. So calling this the X-Deaths of Wolverine, I'm not sure. I guess it's Wolverine, so you can call any book Wolverine you want because it's Marvel and that's what they do. But there is minimum amounts of Wolverine in this, but it's more used to move around whatever story they're going for right now. Like I said, I haven't really read tons of X-Men since House of Powers, so going into this almost blind. But Moira has somehow been outcast now by the Krakoan nation, and she's obviously being hunted by the humans to get intel on the mutants, and she's been depowered by Mystique, who's hunting her for some reason. So, and she's lost her arm for some reason. Yeah, so I got a lot of questions about this book. I'm gonna have to ask my buddy Drew from the Comic Corps what in the world's going on with this one. I thought this one was semi-easy enough to follow on its own, but this one to me was very confusing. So I at least wanted to read both of them to see what these two books were and what the differences were. But yeah, $6 a pop. I'm gonna wait till the digital versions come out for sure. And then one book I've backlogged and already gotten like the 4 issues of is Magic Order 2. I finally found my copy of number 1 because I got stacks of stuff everywhere. So sometimes if I don't keep stuff sorted and I lose track, things like Magic Order 2 number 1 just get lost in the stack. So I don't read issues 2 and 3 until I find my first issue. So just more Magic Order goodness. If you guys read the first mini of Magic Order, I feel like it was one of Mark Millar's stronger properties that he's kind of released in the last 5 or so years, since he's made that big blockbuster Netflix deal. He's had a lot of good, consistent work, but in my opinion, it hasn't been that really big book like he would have had in the 2000s. So I would say out of all of the books that Mark Millar has put, I think Magic Order is his strongest. At least that's my opinion. I know other people have other books that they like. But I really like what's going on with the Moonstone family here. I'm definitely going to collect. I'm guessing it's another 6-issue mini. But yeah, this first issue is just strong enough to see how many of their extended family there are. There's like a kid's birthday party where you can see a whole family hanging out. And you kind of get to, do that hard reset, see what characters you're going to be following. And then just tease like a big bad at the very end. So looking forward to seeing where Magic Order goes, but definitely going to pick up those just because I like the first one a lot. And we got Millions Information Booth. What is going on, man? He says, hey, look, I'm on the TV. So nice to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Just going over some stuff I've read. Then I'm going to show some CGC slabs. And then I'm going to go into this monster haul that's like months in the making. And maybe at the end show a couple toys. Next one, I got this like Newburn comic. I kind of just like the Tuolote cover, so I went and picked it up. But it's a Chip Zdarsky read, so I figured I'd try to flip through it. And to be honest, it wasn't for me, I think. Just the Jacob Phillips art, it was okay, but I wasn't a huge fan of it, so I wasn't really able to get into this issue as much as I would have. But yeah, I'm definitely going to hang on to it because I do love some Tuolote covers when I can get them. And very underrated cover artist. Hopefully they put her on more interiors on the image side. I would love to see more Tuolote out there. But yeah, for now, I'll have to settle for this Newburn number 1 cover. Yes, Chris Barrett, a couple toys, not too much because I have so much stuff to show here, but I did get one toy I want to highlight later down the line. I'll probably be at the end of the video. But next up, I have this issue of Ice Cream Man, which looks like an encyclopedia page. This is issue number 28. And it continues the oddity of Ice Cream Man. I think this is actually going to be a break for Ice Cream Man until about mid-April. So usually they take breaks and such on this title. But once again, just a nice one-off read like every issue is. And this one really cracks me up because in high school, I actually did take an entomology class, which is kind of like exploring the origins of words. And most people hear the word entomology, which is, the investigation of bugs, basically. So this issue actually teases that a lot, where an entomologist is going to try to find this, like the creator of words, basically, and everyone keeps asking him about bugs, and he's like, I don't know anything about bugs, I know about words. So of course he has to go on this like big hike where there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Basically at the end of it, he's eaten by a giant bug because Ice Cream Man. That's what happens in this book. So I was once again laughing a lot reading this. It's one of my top favorite books still out there from Image. I can't say enough great things about Ice Cream Man. I've 28 issues in. I don't plan on dropping this anytime soon, so a lot of fun there. I think I haven't heard too much about this book, surprisingly. It's the Batman Long Halloween Special. It's like a nice big, almost prestige format comic. It's just a nice random follow-up to Long Halloween that Loeb and Sale put out at the end of last year. So if you're Long Halloween fans out there, Loeb and Sale are still making comics in that universe, apparently. So they made this one-off special, which it was pretty good, actually. I really like Tim Sale's art in there. And then I had to get 2 covers on She-Hulk #1 because you got Adam Hughes and then you got Jim Bartel. I may actually have to put this one on my pull list. I really enjoyed this first issue. It kind of feels like the same type of comic you would reading the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run, where they're just kind of having fun with the character. It's just more or less a superhero trying to live their life, even though like they're strapped hard up for cash. They're having to ask friends for places to live and clothing and stuff because their financial situation isn't what you would think for this big glamorous superhero. And apparently Jim Bartel's going to continue doing the A cover. So I'm probably going to have to hang on. This may be the one book I actually add to my pull list because it was a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to hang on, I think, to some She-Hulk. And then the last one, actually I still need to read this. It was just in the pile. I got this Venom #4 variant cover that I guess people have been going crazy about, but not too thrilled with it because Marvel's Wonderful Shipping has a very slight hairline color break on the cover, which I don't like since it's a brand new comic. So we'll see. I'll probably just give this away at some point. I'm not sure. Let's see what Millions Information Booth saying. He says, I'm biased because I love my She-Hulk Young variant. Oh, yeah, the Scotty Young variant. I think I actually have a Scotty Young variant to something I haven't had a chance to read yet that I picked up yesterday. It's in this giant pile somehow. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and see what CGC is sent us. So, down here, it's a 4-book haul. Basically, I think they separated these 4 books because I ordered them with a little extra logo on the side that goes next to the holographic thing. So they're like those custom labels, I guess. So little did I know when I ordered the custom labels, they would be separated into their own thing and I'd be charged more for shipping. Otherwise, I may have thought twice on these, but I think I actually have like 2 of the 4. I think I was going to sell them to pay for the huge shipping cost originally. So let's see what we have first up here. I'm going to try not to reveal the grade. All right. Immediately reveal the grade, but at least it's a good one. So I grabbed with the wrong side, so we know to do that. But thank goodness this one is a 9.8. So I got the Venom #3, first Null appearance. And of course I had to get that Null custom label on that one. So this is one of those books that I think I'm going to use to pay for a lot of the cost of grading some of this, because I got one I'm definitely hanging on to regardless of the grade in this box. I wanted to get the custom label, the pressing, the whole 9s on it. And I'm not really like the biggest Venom guy, as I've said on this channel before. There's certain runs of Venom. This Venom run was really good, don't get me wrong. But this run I would rather have on like a nice hardcover format than the individual issues. But yeah, very happy this came back at 9.8, so I can kind of use it down the line to get some of these costs taken care of, because grading is not cheap. So we're going to set that one on the side, and we're going to attempt to grab the correct side of the book so we can do the whole guessing game. And I did guess 9.8 on that one originally because that's the only way I was going to send that bad boy, because I knew to sell it I had to have a good grade on that. So next up, of course, we got Thor 337, first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. And it's a newsstand, of course. So let's see what I guessed on this, because my gimmicks disappeared. So I went pretty high on this one. I suggested a 9.6. So we'll see what happens here. 9.4. So that's not too bad. So only like 0.2 points off. So I'm just happy it graded above a 9.0. And it's got that nice classic Thor label on there. So this was another one of those. So don't know too much about Beta Ray Bill, and I don't collect tons of Thor. So I figured since it's a newsstand, I could get some good money out of it to help pay and offset like all of the costs. Because the last year was really the first year I've started sending stuff in mass, and I want to make this hobby support itself, obviously. All right, so next up, it looks like I think it's the first Carnage. All right, hopefully I got some good score on this one. I think I actually scored this one pretty high originally. So let's see what we got. Amazing Spider-Man 361. I had a grade guess of a 9.6. It is a newsstand, so let's see. 9.6, so I was right on the money there. I think I was secretly hoping for a 9.8 on this one, but just looking at it briefly, I do see like the tiniest spine tick, so I probably guessed the 9.6 because of that, but I do have to call out CCS once again, just looking at the staples on the back. So you can already see here, The bottom staple is on the back cover clearly, and hey, where's the other one? It's still kind of like where it should be. So once again, this crazy fun pressing, not 100% perfect, not bad by any means, but who knows if you could have sent it to a better presser, maybe in the community they could have pressed it to that 9.8. So who knows? But happy to get one with the custom label. I'm trying to think if I feel like isn't there supposed to be one with Carnage? So I'll have to look at that and see if they gave me the correct custom label. I'm not going to send it in or anything like that. So yeah, 9.6 on there, and then the next one. This is the one I'm a little nervous on because if I remember right, hopefully I grab it from the correct side here. And before I reveal this one, I do want to say hi to a Poor Man's Comics. Hopefully you stick around because I got a lot of Poor Man comics coming up here in a little bit. $1 and below, of course, like we like them. And let's see what Million said. I think I missed this one. I thought the same with one of my young remarks. Now I feel bad about selling one. Yeah, there's definitely a lot, especially when it comes to original art. I hang on to that type of stuff all the time. So, all right. So this one I had high hopes for. I know that's the right custom label that I wanted there with the giant size X-Men. And this book I knew, at least I thought it looked good. And this thing just keeps going up and up. So now I'm just kind of looking at the book before I give my grade guess. I feel like there's a very tiny stain I did not see on the back cover before. So that may greatly impact what I guessed here. So we've got XMen 129. I think I went 9.0 on this. It's the an early version of the direct editions where they crossed out the barcode. So I think I went 9.0 on this. I do want to say hi to JB from Discovery Bay before I reveal it. And then Million says, or pressed by someone better, they would have at least grade. Yeah. Sometimes you get that CCS grade bump that I'm pretty sure that thing exists. So that's why I at least wanted to see if I could use that to leverage another 0.2. But I've rambled on long enough. 8.0. Okay, so 1 point off. I was kind of hoping at least for an 8.5. Obviously, the 9.0 ballpark. But I don't even think I paid like $20 for this book. I got it before people started to realize all of the first appearances that are shoved into this issue. Man, it seems like they grade my X-Men really difficult for some reason. My giant size came back a 4.0. I think I still got my first Gambit out in the 9-book lot, which I'm not expecting that to be big. But yeah, an 8.0, not too bad for this book considering it's like 1980. So I definitely wouldn't want it any lower than that, but it's still a phenomenal book to have. And then, yeah, like I said, there's like the slightest, I think it's on this side. You can kind of tell there's a very slight stain. It looks like it might just be a water stain. Just like it's slightly off that white color. So it's nothing, still looks pretty clean overall. And I can definitely tell some just, it's not a perfect copy, obviously, looking at it now. The corners are definitely rounded and not as sharp as one would want. But this is definitely going to be a keeper for the collection because Kitty Pryde is one of my top favorite X-Men, of course. And then you get the bonus first appearances of Emma Frost, Sebastian Shaw. Love me some Emma as well. So to have a triple threat first appearance, this is a must-own for X-Men fans. So me being an X-Men fan, I'm hanging on to this book. Graders notes, I will definitely have to check those on the side. I guess I could go ahead and I don't know if I'm logged into I guess I could use my phone real quick. JB's asking for any graders notes. So before we continue, let's see if I can get any graders notes because I was actively trying not to look at the listing on my list here so I wouldn't spoil the grades for myself. So let's see. Once I get logged in on my phone here, if there are any hidden graders notes or anything like that. Let's see. And I still have my other one in grading, encapsulation, and imaging. It seems like a lot of the books that I sent off pre-1975, those are the ones that are taking the longest to come back. Okay, so the 129 actually does have a grader's note. It says, all right, so let's get the book back out here. So the grader's notes for this are crease, right bottom, front cover. So crease, right bottom, front cover. I don't see this phantom crease. I guess the world's tiniest crease, right front cover, I don't see that. Creased right top front cover breaks collar. Okay, it does have the tiny crease right there, like, and it's minuscule. So now I can kind of see something that, oh, that's just a speck on the bag. Okay, so there's your top right. I don't see a crease. And then spine stress lines break collar. I see maybe 2 hairlines. So let's get JB's little note out of the way there. And of course the camera is focusing. Let's just do this. Let's get that out of that nasty bag there. So, okay, we'll do a spine slide there to see if you see all these like collar breaking creases. So you can kind of see one right there that's very tiny. And then what I was pointing out was there earlier. It's just that rounded soft corner. But yeah, that's the grader's notes. So I kind of don't see what they're talking about, to be honest. So actually, I do see one. Maybe they meant left corner, because looking at the left, there are definitely like 2, like right next to the barcode, right there and there. It almost looks like a kind of staple right there, but it's just color break. So I could see that bringing it down a little bit, but I figured this would be at least a 9.0. So I'm definitely not seeing what they're talking about. So if you guys got any tips or advice on maybe what I should do, besides I'm keeping the book, so it's not like I'm reselling it, but if you think there's a chance that I need to resend it to another grade, and I just hate that I would have paid for the custom label and then just to crack it here in a little bit. So yeah, that's the only grader's notes they gave me on anything, because everything was at least, a 9.4 and up. I think they gave a 9.4 to the Thor 337 because they did grade off white to white. But luckily, the X-Men came back white pages. So, yeah. So that's the unboxing. A little bit of good, a little bit of eh. Like, I feel like I say that with every unboxing I do. So, yeah. Yeah, I didn't see any of the stuff on the back either. Like I said, I thought it looked pretty nice and clean on the back side. And JB does say that's an undervalued key. Yeah, I mean, especially since there's some pretty big characters that make first appearances that those characters aren't going anywhere for the foreseeable future, obviously. So it's one of those books, get it now if you can. Definitely get it now if you can before everybody else figures out that it's a huge, huge book. All right. So I did get an eBay lot in the mail right before I hit live today. So I did splurge a little bit. I actually paid a little bit more than $10 a book plus shipping on these. But it's a run I think I'm going to start to go after, and really, because I want to start to go after a few new runs in 2022 of some older books. And I think this run, no one's really paying attention to right now because it's DC. It's the Justice League. So got an issue of Justice League number 6. Always really like this cover, The Will of Misfortune. And as you can see, it's pretty much a reader copy. It's it's nothing like I'm going to send to get graded. It's just, it's got that brown tape all the way across it, but it's a book I've always wanted in the collection. So I may try to go after like these single-digit Justice Leagues. And yeah, I definitely saw this book in the little thumbnail. I'm like, I'm going to see what happens with that auction. And I decided to go after it, and I actually won the auction for a decent price. So it wasn't like a steal of a deal or anything like that previous video I had. Came with a few more books. So I got a issue of number 10 as well with Felix Faust. The next one I was pretty excited about because it's a character I like's first appearance. So I got a Justice League number 12. This is the first appearance of Dr. Light. Obviously not the greatest quality copy, but didn't think I'd ever own first Dr. Light. And he's a character when I was reading in the mid-2000s, especially if you read Identity Crisis, they pretty much revitalized that character going into Infinite Crisis. And it was one of my favorite Titans villains. So happy to have this in the collection. I'm definitely rebagging these two because they're not the worst bags, but they're definitely not nice Mylars. So got an issue 18. Definitely a reader as well. But like I said, I'm just going to start run filling this because I do have a few places I go where I can get them for like $3 or $4. And then the last one I got was issue number 20. So not too bad for like I think maybe $12 plus shipping. Usually more than I'd pay a little bit, but I think I'm going to start to go after this run because why not? All right, let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, Chris Barrett was saying the graders having a bad. Yeah, I think the graders maybe just don't like X-Men because it seems like especially a Swamp Thing, like right here, they were pretty generous to that 9.4, and like that DC Comics Presents at a 9.6, they were very generous with that. So I think sometimes like, oh god, another X-Men book. So I don't know. Chris Barrett says, so you don't want it the Silver Age GLA run? I do. So I'm gonna probably at least, because I think a lot of my like Silver Age run collecting, I usually like go after like the 1 through 100, usually never seeing those issue 1s through like 20s, especially like your Fantastic Fours, your X-Men, that type of stuff. That is just too rich for my blood, especially right now. So I'm going to focus on more things like Justice League and see if I can just run fill stuff I like that. And then Poor Man says there's something on the back of your shirt. Yeah, it just says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and really big. This was a Loot Crate Ninja Turtle shirt. It came with the Danny action figure. Maybe they'll send part 2 of the Loot Crate in 2023. I don't know. Like NECA is having all kinds of weird production issues with their toys. So every time they plug something, it takes like months to come out. And a million says, did you see the daily art sketch Scotty Young did for Baxter Stockman's website? No, I will definitely have to look that up for sure. Barrett says, I got a few silver JLAs, nothing impressive, but too nice, but I have a few that I'd let go. That's awesome. Let's see what else we'll show next. We'll just go over the big pile here because Half Price Books has been very generous lately. With they're finally just pricing everything at $1. So that's kind of like the heart and soul of my live streams is just going to Half Price Books and showing what I can find for $1. So I know some of you guys here love some Mike Turner. So Supergirl #1. This is a second print, but it's the nice Mike Turner. I think they did like 3 printings, maybe even 4 of the Supergirl #1. The second one or the third print, I don't think is a Turner cover. I think it's like that one, like she's underwater or something. I don't even know who did that cover, but that's the one I originally had as my reader when I collected this run. But yeah, I always like the black and white Mike Turner cover on this. I was happy to find that for $1. Next one, this book's been seeing some heat lately because of Book of Boba Fett. So I was definitely happy to swoop it up for $1. Star Wars #20, you got the Black Chrysanthemum on a Mike Mayhew cover. I think it's technically his first cover appearance, something like that. I'm not sure, but I knew this was definitely worth $1, so I put it in the stack. I think I sold this one recently on a Instagram claim sale, so I've kind of learned if you see this run in the bins for $1, you just kind of pick it up if you see it. Hawkeye #2, the Kate Bishop, Kelly Thompson run. So that was $1, so I picked that up. And they have been pretty generous lately with a couple surprised J. Scott Campbell's and some surprised Adam Hughes. So I'm pretty sure Poor Man's like this fine for $1. Catwoman #50, beautiful as a 10, a poster cover there with Catwoman kind of walking in the foreground. So Adam Hughes for $1, that's a no-brainer, obviously. It's, even if you like it or not, you kind of just pick it up anyway. Some very nice J. Scott buys here. Black Panther issue #3. I think this is the Shuri as Black Panther first cover, something like that. But I would have bought it regardless because it's J. Scott Campbell, one of my favorite artists from the 90s. So easy $1 purchase there. Found the issue #2 as well. I don't think this is the issue #2 everybody wants, but still an excellent cover that people I know track down. So I was like, yep, that's going in a pile for $1. I don't know how many copies they had, like an influx on this book. Somewhere in this room, I have like, and maybe it's in this stack. I got like 5 more copies of this I bought for 20 cents, but I just went and picked up another copy of Invincible Iron Man #3 for $1. I think I'm up to like 7 copies of this now because it's the first time she's called Ironheart, I guess Riri is. So it's like a good $10 bill easy right now, I think, on eBay. So I figured I'd use these to pad getting something nicer for the collection, because it was just one of those ones I took up to the counter one day and the guy's like, why do you need 5 copies of this? I'm like, first Riri's Ironheart. So I think I showed that pile at some point. It's over here somewhere. I need to bag and board them still. Here's an awesome 20-cent find. I got Stars and Stripe Zero, first appearance of Stargirl. So I was extremely happy to find this issue for 20 cents. I think I have another copy somewhere. I think I actually got my other copy from Alex the Comic Hoarder now that I think of it. He had a auction years ago that I got a copy of that. So to get another copy for 20 cents, love me some Stargirl. Great story there from Jeff Johns and how he created that character, of course. Before we keep going, let's see what the chat is saying. Yeah, Chris Barrett saying 3/4 price books. True that, Chris Barrett. Yeah, I agree with Poor Man. It's pretty much, yeah, it's a fraction of the price at this point. Poor Man, I know you love that Zatanna. Thank you millions for sending that on Instagram. I'll have to check that out after the feed. The Bombshell variants. Yeah, Chris Barrett likes those Bombshell variants. And then, yes, I just remembered I did show that pile of 5 Riris. And then I knew PMC would like the Stargirl find. And then at that same find, I got the Stargirl. I found issues 1 and 2 of the Dreaming. I like the Dave McKean covers on that. So for 20 cents, couldn't say no to those. Found a Marvel Age 30 for $1. Nice John Byrne cover on that one. I was surprised because sometimes on these, they've been marking up the older 80 stuff to like $2, $3. So it's like, for $1, I'll pick up Marvel Age all day because I really enjoy collecting those. And then I go back. This pile's just kind of random. I got some local shop pickups integrated in here as well. I haven't had a chance to read yet and bag and board. So I had to get the J. Scott Campbell cover on the Mary Jane Black Cat because why not? It's J. Scott Campbell. I ended up getting this whole pack of Something is Killing the Children. I love me some David Mack. So when I saw I could reserve the Slaughter pack, which I still have it sealed, but it's Something is Killing the Children's 1 through 5 with all David Mack covers. So I'm actually going to set that off to the side. I'm trying to debate if I want to open it and bag and board them or just leave it in that bag as is and somehow get it bagged and boarded in that. And I am probably getting fingerprints all over this. I got the House of Slaughter foil, which I'll have to read that at some point. And I think I actually got a copy of this in my last haul, but I forgot I had a stack in my garage of half-price books. I got a copy of Sectars #1 for $1. Anytime, this is kind of like, David Mack. You got to get his Daredevils for $1 now if you see him. So I got an issue number 16 for $1. I got an issue 280 of Daredevil, just some nice John Romita Jr. action there. I think I just bought this in case anyone needed it. Plus, it's in like a really nice Ultra Pro bag. Sometimes I like just buying for the nice bag and board. We got an Animal Man #1 for $1 from the Jeff Lemire run. So I was thinking about just getting this book graded at some point because I have my original reader copy is actually signed by Jeff Lemire, but I do like this book. So I thought about getting a nice slab of it, maybe to match a slab of the Grant Morrison #1. Something I'm just thinking about doing because I really do like that. I found a House of X #6, some sort of like connecting cover variant edition for $1. I've pretty much gotten most of these TMNT best ofs at some point. I got the April O'Neil #1, and this one covers the original Mirage #2 issue, which is her first appearance, of course. Then the April O'Neil micro series, the entire thing is in here. And then TMNT issue 118, which came out like 6 months ago, is already in here. So these are a lot of fun to collect, but I don't know. Like, I guess they're doing a Jenica one next, and I'm not sure. I think they're just switching the Transformers after that. But they're also going up $1 with the Transformers one. So I think I have an Optimus somewhere that was like $7, but they do have a lot of material to read in those. Got an X Factor #18 for $1.50, just like Gene on the cover, basically. So I end up getting that. Got an issue 43 of Justice League Darkseid War. I think this one was 20 cents. So anytime I see these Darkseid Wars, I actually really did enjoy the storyline. I read it digitally on the DC app, so I'm trying to collect the physical copies for $1 or less when I see them. I do want to read this run at some point because I heard it was decent. The Teen Titans post Rebirth got an issue 21 where they have Lobo's daughter and the new team in there. Found an Earth 224, which I think this book's seen a little bit of heat because at the very end you got Earth 23 Superman in there. So do want to read this whole run at some point. I've heard Earth 2 is a great sleeper read. It's one to not sleep on. So I do want to kind of read that at some point. Got a random variant cover on Agents of Atlas #1. Apparently it's the 5th variant cover. Don't know too much about it otherwise, but I threw it in the pile for $1. Guardians of the Galaxy photo cover. I think this came out right around when the first movie did. So there's a love some Karen Gillan. Incredible Hulk 414 for $1. It came in a Mylar, so I bought it. So didn't think I could go wrong with that. We got Action Comics number 461. Another $1 fine. So especially if I can get the bicentennial ones for $1, I just throw them in the pile. I got X-23 number 6, Terry Dotson Uncanny variant for $1. Some more 20-cent fines. I had the Firepower #1 from when it was a free comic book day, but I never really got a chance to read it because I just didn't get the following issues. But the 20-cent bins of half-price books have solved that problem because I found issues 2 through 5 for 20 cents a piece, and now I can read the first volume of Firepower by Robert Kirkman, which pretty excited about that because I do love me some Kirkman when I can, get a chance to read a start of his run. Found a Criminal #1 special edition. Used to be a $5 book. At Half Price Books, it's a 20-cent book. So I was thrilled to put that in the pile because I do love some Brubaker and Phillips when I can get it. Found a Patsy Walker Hellcat #1. Definitely want to try to read that at some point because I've heard good things. And then this day I went in and I just they're making something out of World War Hulk, so I may as well just pick all these issues up. And then whoever bought these originally, as you can see, they must have really liked this run because they Mylar'd it up. So we got Incredible Hulk #108, World War Hulk crossover, obviously. 107 for $1. Just worth it for that nice bag and board, of course. And then 111. So I'm going to have to reread that before they make the big World War Hulk something or other, whether it's a Disney Plus series maybe. All right, before we keep going into this big stack, let's get into the chat. Barrett says something is killing the children is more than cover at this point. Yeah, that's for sure. So pretty much if I can get my hands on, especially like a printing of the first issue, it's just why not at this point. Chris Barrett says, not gonna lie, that's not good, April. Yeah, that was one of the weaker covers they did on those TMNT best ofs. Oh yes, we got Jason, aka Comics Misexplained, in the chat. What's going on, man? Nice to see Comics Misexplained in the chat. Then here's one I still need to check out: the Venom #1. I had the image. Take a shot, I guess, as Matt Cardona would say. Got the Venom #1. I had the #4 issue earlier, but I had to have this Del Auto #1. So got to read that at some point. I could probably just read it digitally. It's been so long since I've actually found this pile. I like the Lee Bermejo cover on the Thing #1, so I threw that in my pile. Where the furthest place from here is at Scotty Young variant. So I don't know if Millions is still in the chat, but he's been talking about Scotty Young for a while. So there's some Scotty Young for you. And we got Aggressively Relaxing. What is going on, man? Nice to see you in the chat today. We're going back with some more Adam Hughes. This I actually bought yesterday for $1. Got the issue 190 where Wonder Woman gets a haircut. So there you go. I think I actually left this one previously because who likes the haircut Wonder Woman? But I went and just threw it in the pile because I had a nice huge stack going. Couldn't say no to this Mary Jane Iron Man #4. Because Mary Jane is actually integrated quite a bit into the storyline. Just like that. I was surprised this was still in the bin, so I had to throw that in the pile. Probably my $1 find of the day yesterday for sure. Catwoman 45. So this book actually sees a pretty decent amount. I think this is like a $10 or $20 bill all day online. But yeah, for some reason, Half Price Books threw $1 on it. So once again, not saying no to a $1 Adam Hughes, especially if it's that Catwoman or his Wonder Woman run. So knew not to leave that in the bins. Kind of the same thing every time I see America or America Chavez books in the dollar bins, I pick them up. So really enjoy this run, especially the Joe Quinones art. These are beautiful books. Don't sleep on them. J. Scott Campbell True Blood #1. I have the black and white variants on this. This is the first time I've seen the color version of the Wild Watch. I think this is just the A cover basically of this run from IDW. But yeah, it's like they knew I was coming because I think they had this and then the next run of books on this like little shelf aside from the bins. And as soon as I saw like the shelf, I just started loading up a pile. Like that's not happened before. This next lot of books is not the cheapest on eBay, and it's something I've been digging for a little bit. And you just don't see these in the wild because no one really collected them, and still no one collects them. But I love me some Mass Effect. And this run is the first time Mass Effect was adapted into any type of comic book. So I found Mass Effect Redemption 1 through 4, finally, the whole mini in the dollar. They had like they still had $1 on them, even though they had them highlighted on a rack. But yeah, this is the first time Mass Effect was adapted into a comic of any form. And this covers the storyline that happens immediately after Mass Effect 2 starts, where Shepard and the Normandy, they basically just get blown up and into space, basically. And Cerberus captures Shepard's body so Mass Effect 2 can start, basically. So I know the first issue starts with Liara trying to figure out why Cerberus is taking the corpse of Shepard, and then it kind of goes from there. And then I guess I could just highlight the covers. I do like issue number 4 with Miranda, then issue number 3, and then issue number 2. So yeah, Mass Effect. Hopefully one day we'll get maybe some sort of live action Mass Effect. I think they keep teasing it once every 5 years, but they've also announced at some point we're getting Mass Effect 4 for some reason, even though Shepard was pretty much dead at the end of 3, unless you got like a certain ending where his chest raises up or something. Or maybe I'm thinking of Master Chief. I don't know. I feel like there was both. Like at the end of each of the third games in the franchise, they die unless you get like play the game a certain way and then they're alive somehow. I don't remember. But do love me some Mass Effect. So I've been looking for this redemption story arc for a minute. I'm actually going to set that on the side because I want to read it today. Can't say no to $1 Turtles, even if it was a free book to begin with. Didn't have this one in the collection, so I threw it in because I like the cover. And that was also on that rack as soon as you walked in, along with these two as well. Found a couple DC Comics Presents for $1 a piece. Here was a surprise that no one swooped up. I found the comic adaptation from Dynamite of Game of Thrones. So 2 awesome Alex Ross covers for $1 a piece on issue 1 and issue 2. So I may actually go ahead and read these as well, just to see what in the world these interiors look like. I have no high hopes for what the insides look like, but couldn't say no to the awesome Alex Ross covers. I ended up getting some Noctera for 20 cents. I have the issue 1. I even have the hardcover. But I was going to leave these, but then I actually found like the whole first arc for 20 cents minus the first issue. So I was like, screw it. Why not throw them in the pile? So I found issues 2 through 6, which have beautiful Tony Daniel covers for 20 cents. So went on and hung on to that. I have no idea what this book is, and I haven't looked it up to see what in the world this is, but I found an ash can for Evolution #1, which is a Skybound comic. So anytime I get these like random oddities, like I'm not gonna leave that laying for 20 cents. So I threw that in the pile. And then shout out to Tacoma Comics. I know he loves some early Image newsstands. I found like a little jackpot of 90s Image newsstands for Wildcats. So I found Wildcats #4 newsstand. So there's that one. I think they had an issue 3 as well, but I already have enough issue 3s. It was not a newsstand, so I left that there. Issue #5 newsstand as well. And now I'm half tempted to see if I can collect all of the Wildcats Jim Lee in newsstand. So I have an issue #7. Issue #8, which if I remember, I think this is the one with Gene and Scott's honeymoon, if I remember correctly, because he also got done doing X-Men not too long before that, obviously. #9 newsstand, all for 20 cents. #10 in a newsstand. Gotta love that cover, of course. Gotta love the 90s, right? Yeah, of course. There's Bub's Comics just in time. I know he loves these type of covers. So there you go, Bub. Wildcats #10. Always love seeing Bub's Comics in there. Got issue #11 newsstand. Issue #12 newsstand as well. We're almost done. Issue #13, last Jim Lee newsstand. And then the last one, Eric Larson, but who's counting? #14 newsstand. So there you go. The mother load of newsstands for 20 cents from Half Price Books, of course. Threw this E-Man #1 in because, shout out to Joe Stanton. Why not? It was 20 cents. This one seemed fascinating because I do like some Robot Man, All-Star Squadron, number 63. Just very clean copy for 20 cents. So I threw it in the pile. And then I picked these up as giveaways for when I start selling on Instagram or whatever again to the community. I found 5 copies of Man of Steel #1 for 20 cents. Because if you don't have this book in your collection, let me know. Because if you buy something, I guarantee you a free copy of Man of Steel #1. So there you go. I don't even know how many. I probably have 10 plus copies of this book at this point. So yeah, I was just like, why not? 20 cents. You can't go wrong. The original variant cover. So yeah, Man of Steel #1. Poor Man says Game of Thrones 1 is a great get. Yeah, I figured that was an easy $1 purchase. Pretty good stuff yesterday. Chris Barrett says with his newsstands, there we go. I can finally hide it. With his newsstands, even after this whole no gimmicks needed bit when he started. And Aggressive Relaxing says newsstand. So yeah, no gimmicks needed, but I love the gimmicks. Next up, like I said, I got way too much to show today. Oh yeah, here's some more Scotty Young. This is my reader pile I still need to go through. I got Excellent #1. Scotty Young dupe cover. I have fallen off so much on this life story. I'm just going to read it all digitally at this point because I think I'm assuming this is the final issue. So yeah, I think I've only read issue 1. The other ones are scattered in this room somewhere. And somehow Magic Order is already up to #4. I've only read the first issue, so I got to assemble that pile. I did buy a grab bag of DC Silver Age comics for $24. So I was waiting for this to see what in the world is in this grab bag. So I already knew I'm getting an Action Comics 287. It looks like they're all readers. So I think it factors out to about $3 or $4 a piece. I was kind of excited about this not too shabby House of Mystery number 110. Just a nice 10 center there. We got Ben Compton in the chat. What is going on, man? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. So we're going to pop this bad boy open. And we're going to find out together what in the world I bought from my comic shop for, I think it said $24. So looks like at least some fun reader copies of some DC Silver Age, which you can never go wrong with, in my opinion. So let's see what we got buried in here. Oh, okay, good. Just get rid of that before it gets stuck to something. Okay, good. All right. So we got Action Comics 287. And I talked about how Justice League earlier, I was talking about run filling and that. I may start to go after like the early Actions and the early Supermans because they're relatively easy books to find for very affordable, which I'm very happy with this next one. Superman 153. Yeah, that's definitely staying in the collection because I might have to see if I can get that $8 off or whatever. Wow, this is an early issue. I got Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 33. It definitely will be some good pressing practice there. So this thing will get a workout from this lot. So we'll see. I don't hoard the Lois Lanes too much. Actually, I think I sold some in my last sale. But yeah, I don't have any that old, so I may hang on to that one. We got Strange Adventures 140. So once again, it's going in the press for some practice there, but I actually do have a lot of Strange Adventures. That's another one I thought about trying to get a lot of because you get some great Dead Man action in there from Neil Adams. You get the first appearances of my boy Animal Man, which I need to track all of those down still. So, and of course, Adam Strange has a lot of appearances in there because it's Strange Adventures. So once again, happy with that. We'll just go ahead and get the House of Mystery out of the way. This probably, I thought it was nice, but missing something out of the back there, but it is what it is. I'm still keeping that as a DC 10 center. We got My Greatest Adventure number 58, another 10 center. This one is from 1961. Whew. A little rough on the back there, but like I said, it was just a nice grab bag of stuff that was just reader copies, and I'm getting what was advertised, so that's great. Oh, this is awesome. House of Secrets 57. I've always wanted to start collecting some of the Silver Age House of Secrets. I obviously have a bunch of the Bronze Age Awesome House of Secrets, you know, from the Rights and Arrow stuff, and then Ernie Chua and all that, of course. But yeah, just to have the Silver Age, that's great. And then the last book is All American Men of War 88. So there you go. That is the grab bag I went ahead and picked up. Actually, that's a nice bag and board. Hang on to that. More stacks down here as I wrinkle up the top. I'm not going to show all these because I'm already at pretty much 1 hour. I got this on an eBay lot maybe in like mid-December, and I just kind of forgot I had it because it was on my dining room table until I went to pick up all these stacks. So I got like a good chunk of the Batman Gotham Adventures animated run, issue 1 through pretty much 20. There's just a few issues missing in between. I got these for, I think, 75 cents a piece, if I remember correctly. So I got a bag and board all those because that's unfortunately the way they were sent. So I got to burn like a whole bunch of bags and boards on those. But it is what it is. I didn't pay much for them, so that was great. We got Action Comics. I don't know what number it is because it's a Whitman variant. So I got to open it up to look it up. But we're moving along here. But always getting those actions when I see them for cheap. I would have felt like a dummy skipping on this one. It was $3.50. So this is one of the premium purchases of the Half Price Books outlet at a whopping $3.50. Even though I think I did drop a 25% off coupon on this stack. Hulk 146. Not too bad. You got Herm Trimpe on there. We got some X-Statics, which I've always wanted to read. So I've kind of learned through J Hood Creative. Don't sleep on the X-Statics. So I got an issue 15. An issue number 2, and then an issue number 18, as well as a Dead Girl special, and then an issue number 12. Actually, I'm going to have to make a third stack so I don't block the camera because we're getting pretty close here. Here's like a non-foil variant on X-Men 317. Just decided to throw that in because I think that I only got the shiny one. Giant size X-Men cover swipe on X-Men 46 with the, I think that's the X-Babies, maybe. I stopped reading X-Men at that point in the 90s. Hit a little treasure trove of the Before Watchmen number 1, so I got a Rorschach number 1. A combo pack variant on Silk Spectre, which this is actually a pretty good read. I recommend it if you do like Watchmen and you're kind of iffy on the Before Watchmen stuff. I enjoyed this one, and it's actually also collected in a hardcover with this one. The Minutemen, which is great Darwin Cook action there. So once again, recommend those 2 books if you're looking for some Before Watchmen content. This one I remember not being as great, but you get some good J.G. Jones art. It's The Comedian. For some reason, Tony Daniels' name's written on the back. Don't know why. No, but he didn't work on the comic, so I'll. Got some Thor number 6. I think this is when it's revealed that Jane Foster is the new Thor. If I remember correctly, it might have been the next issue for sure. Found this one for $1. New Avengers number 8. First was a Black Order or whatever. All of Thanos' lackeys. Their first appearance in the Prelude to Infinity. Kind of starting to fill these Secret Invasion issues with issue 17 of Mighty Avengers. Fantastic 420, which I believe this is an early Valeria Richards appearance. Like there's a future version of her that pops up in issue 15, which I am on the hunt for that issue. I don't want to pay that much for it because no one's looking for it. It should be $1 find at some point, hopefully. But I believe this is the second appearance of that alternate timeline character. And then Comic Core Chad told me not to sleep on this read. And coincidentally, I found it for $1. Frankenstein Agents of Shade. Jeff Lemire written, so had to pick that up for $1. And then I got a couple hardcover purchases I got off of in-stock trades. If I could get the bag open. Wow, they used some tape on this bad boy. Let's see. All right. This will be on my read pile for sure. Actually, both these will because I do want to finish the one and start the other. I've heard nothing but great things about this Tom Taylor Nightwing run, so I figured I'd try out this hardcover to see how good it is because the issues I've dabbled in have been very good, and I'd like to see something good from DC Comics, and this may be their best read on the shelves now. I'll let you guys know what I think once I read that. And then I got the hardcover for Strange Adventures. I actually collected half of this in physical cover, but I got tired of paying $20 a pop, or I'm sorry, $5 a pop. So I think I got this for like $20 basically, or maybe like 25. It was like 42% off as most half price books. I'm sorry, in stock trades. I got it from in stock. So nice shiny copy of that. And then almost done here. I got 3 more hardcovers. They had this one on like mega clearance. It was like 65% off. DC through the 80s. There's some good stuff collected in here. I decided to try it out, and so far I've really enjoyed it. So I think it's still on clearance on the In Stock Trades website. Continuing the madness of Tom King, I also decided to try out Rorschach. I have no idea what happens in this book. But yeah, I just decided to throw it in the pile, see how I liked it. And then we read this on Modern Men at one point, so I liked it so much I told myself I was going to get the hardcovers as they were released. Gideon Falls, Volume 1, Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, of course. I think there's probably going to be 2 of these, so I'll have to get the second one as well. I actually have not finished the Gideon Falls story. I was going to wait. I was probably going to reread this, wait till the second one comes out, and then read the ending that way. All right, we got one more item to show, but we're going to get to the chat first. Chris says he misses Cat. And Chad and Drew, baby. So, yeah, they've teased coming back a few times. One day, there may be a live stream on the Comic Core channel again. Who knows? And then he says, maybe a person named Tony Daniels owned that comedian. Yeah, who knows? Barrett says he talks to Legend every now and then, so that helps by Miss Legend, too. All right, so the final product I have to show, and yeah, this is a fun one because I actually bought 2 of them. I bought the Walmart re-release of the Ninja Turtles Turtle Party Wagon, so I ended up buying 2 of these because apparently Walmart has like this like store pickup thing where you can use the service, but you have to spend at least $40. I think this was like 35 something. So they wanted to charge me like $6 or $7 to use the service. So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna buy 2. So I think I have the second one downstairs because I didn't like think I'd have room to hold both boxes. So I think I'm gonna leave one in the box, in mint condition, not unopened. And I think the other one, I'm actually going to open this up, put all the stickers on it, and have like a mint condition. And I can put my classic turtles on. Because I also bought they released the 4 Turtle Brothers in their original packaging as well. It just says Nickelodeon on the top. I bought a Mikey. I left the other 3 on the shelf because, as you can see, I got turtles everywhere in here. I don't think I need to buy like Raph's just chilling here. And then like Leo's down there. Donnie's, he probably fell back in that corner, and then Mikey's just tipped over there. So, and then like I got enough turtles. Like I don't need to buy like every single re-release of the turtles, but they keep doing the vehicles like this. I'm probably got to buy like 2 of all of them. If they do the Technodrome, which I got the Technodrome, it's somewhere behind this actually, or maybe it's over there. It's on that shelf back there. But if they release the Technodrome and the sewer lair, I'm definitely going to buy those for sure. This was one of my favorite purchases of the year so far, and I got it twice. So very happy with I was able to get that because I figured that would be like Scalper City trying to get those, even though I'm kind of just as guilty because I bought 2. But actually, my Walmart did have a couple more when I went in there yesterday. I didn't buy them out, of course, because that makes me mad when somebody else does that. So hopefully somebody wants them. So let's go ahead, get into the chat one more time and see what you guys are saying. So Bub says Turtle Power. Yeah, absolutely Turtle Power. I inadvertently wore the shirt today. It's a nice long sleeve for a cold day. Comics Misexplained likes the Turtle Van, of course. Chris says definitely plays my turtle. Yeah, you better believe I play with my turtle toys. That's what I do with my spare time. Bob says Walmart, you must spend $42 to get this van. I'll spend $70, please. Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, hey, that's an item I want to get behind and support. I will buy 2 of those, please. So yeah, very happy with my turtle van purchase. Now I get to and my 38-year-old self, I get to sit here and put stickers on a toy from the 80s, basically. Barrett says it's only February 9th. This year isn't even a quarter of the way over. Low standards. Yeah, and I've already got like 2 gigantic stacks. That stack right there on that box, that's from the last haul. There's like if I tilt the, yeah, I still have that much more to sort as well, and here and up there. So I need a vacation just to sort all of this. So thank you guys so much for joining me this afternoon. It always blows my mind I can actually like have an audience turn up at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for hopping in this chat, and I'll see you next time.